This is True Crime Tradies. Listener discretion is advised. Pussies.
Hey everybody, welcome back to True Crime Tradies. I am Chris, and with me as always is anal bead tug of war champion, JB. How you going, mate?
Good. Sorry, anal bead tug of war champion.
Yeah, I thought you're quite proud of that title, so I thought I'd go live with the listeners with that one.
So who's holding the other end of the anal bead? Is it literally the sphincter holding onto the anal bead? And that's what I'm, it's not coming out the mouth of the person and someone's got the other end of it or anything. It's
not human centipede style. No, it's butt to butt. And it's
butt to butt. Oh,
yeah.
Fuck. Okay, I didn't even put that two and two together.
It's like a Christmas cracker situation.
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah. Remind me never to get involved in any of your sexual fantasies. Oh, my God.
Too close of a look behind the curtain.
Yeah. I know it's a safe space here, but don't air all your dirty laundry.
So not that safe. Okay. All right,
exactly.
Just make a note of that.
Yeah.
No. Okay. All right, good. How's your week been, mate?
Yeah, good, man. Yeah, good. We had a good week at work. I went and saw a movie this week.
What'd you see? Oh, you saw, was it Obsession?
Obsession. Yes.
Yeah.
Bit of a scary movie. It was good. It was good, actually. I do like a scary movie. The kids like scary movies too. My wife hates scary movies, so generally anytime she's away and there's a good movie coming out, we'll go watch it together. And it's not your typical slasher movie. The premise is a little bit absurd. Basically, a guy gets a hold of it's like a gimmicky toy thing that he gets from his shop, and it's able to grant wishes. And he makes this wish because he's fallen in love with this chick that he works with, and she's not interested in him in the slightest. But he wishes that she loved him more than anyone else in the fucking world. Something along those lines.
Right.
But then from that point, the wish comes true, of course, and she becomes absolutely obsessed with him to the point where it becomes dangerous.
Okay. So like a real extreme stalker situation?
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Just anything he did was the best. But if he went against anything like, well, you need to back off, she'd lose her fucking mind. So,
right, okay.
Yeah, it was very good. It had a really high rating on IMDb, which I love IMDb. I'm obsessed with it.
I heard really good things about the movie from everyone that saw it. My daughter, she's right into horror films as well, and she loved it. Yeah. I'm the opposite. I'm like your wife. I can't do them anymore. As a kid, I loved them. And sort of heading up to my teenage years, and then as an adult, I can't watch them anymore. I just get too scared.
That's strange. That's strange considering true crime, yeah.
Yeah, mate, I can watch someone get murdered till the cows come home, no dramas, just fucking sitting there eating my popcorn. But as soon as it's like a make-believe horror thing, I'm like,
isn't it funny? Yeah, because we're in our 40s, and I'm still, and probably a lot of people out there are like this, I can't sleep with the wardrobe door open, the closet door. It has to stay shut. Yeah, that sort of freaks me out. I got to admit, after I watched this movie with the kids, because my wife was away, I did sleep with the TV on.
Oh, really?
I wouldn't call it, it wasn't ultra horror, but it had some really good sort of freaky moments, and they're my favorite type of horror movies.
Yeah. What do you like with having your foot outside the blankets when you sleep? Because I know that a lot of people are like, no, I can't do that. Because then a ghost is going to grab my foot.
Oh, really? I've never thought about that. Thanks a lot for that. No.
No worries.
That doesn't bother me. I have a thing with the shoulders. I don't like my shoulders being exposed more than the foot. I don't know. Almost like the blanket's got to be cuddled up under my chin and I'm safe. No one can get me.
To protect your neck.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. All these subconscious little things that we do that we don't think about. But when you actually dive deep into them like we are now, I'm like, oh, God, I'm a bit of a pussy.
So are you more into the horror films where there's a person, like a killer chasing someone, or is it like an exorcist sort of style?
Probably almost neither. I enjoy those slasher ones, but only because they're more comedy than anything else. I don't get scared from those ones. I like the more freaky, sort of thrillery type ones. Like Obsession, no real jump scares, but just like you're on edge, like Long Legs. Have you seen Long Legs?
Yes. More sort of psychological sort of torment.
They're the type of horror films that I really, really enjoy, and they freak the fuck out of me. So, and the slasher ones, like I was saying, they're just like comedies. They're the Halloween movies. They're just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, how many movies? There have been about 30 of them. And then the killer, Jason, he has survived so many different deaths over the years. And I know that from the start, he wasn't superhuman. It wasn't a supernatural movie. He would die, and then somehow the next movie he's good to go again. He didn't die, but then I think he got hit by lightning or something in like the 6th or 7th movie, and he became immortal from that point on. So that way the franchise can continue forever. So it's pretty smart because they seem to bring out a new one every year. But yeah.
All right. Well, here's a would you rather for you then. Would you rather be hunted by a killer with a knife or be haunted by a ghost that only you can see?
Oh, that's easy. I'm going mask killer every time.
Yeah, me too.
I feel like I've got a chance. I can run, I can fight back, I can stab, or I can shoot at him. You know, I can potentially kill the masked intruder, but like a ghost that only I can see, no, fuck that. That freaks me out. What am I supposed to do with it? I can't punch or kick it or stab it or anything. And
you can't
cops aren't
shit.
Cops aren't going to believe me. They think I have a mental breakdown. I'm going to end up in a padded cell, rocking back and forth, and I'd spend the rest of my life pointed at empty corners. You know what I mean? Like, that's he's over there. That's what I'd be like. So no, I'm taking the masked intruder every day of the week. And that's the thing. At least I can lock my doors at home. With Ghost, you got no hope. Like, I can't go to sleep without relaxing.
Yeah, so, it's a known fact they walk through walls.
Exactly.
Known
fact. But then they're able to grab you, but you can't grab them. It's a whole thing. The whole thing.
Yeah.
They can scratch you. They can, So you're on the same page.
I'm on the same. Yeah, definitely.
No, Ghosts are definitely.
Well, speaking of horror films, what do we have today, mate?
Yeah, it's a perfect segue, and it wasn't really by accident, was it? It's because today we are doing the Scream murder, and you can watch this on either Disney or on Hulu, depending on your location. And I did say last week I fucked up, like a full admission here. I said the Scream murders. And sorry to disappoint everyone at home, it is called the Scream murder. Single murder, not multiple.
So you were aware of a tape. Did you?
We were told that there was a videotape, yes.
Time is 9:50, September 22nd, 2006.
The video will never make sense to me, and I will never understand where it came from.
There should be no law against killing people.
Friends don't kill friends.
Hello, Cassie. I'm getting you on tape, okay?
Just something that you cannot unsee.
The crime was committed in a house out in the middle of nowhere.
She's gonna be alone in a big, dark house. How perfect can you get?
There was blood spatter. She was stabbed to death.
And then we found evidence that's gonna help us solve this crime.
Bloody clothing, knives, scary Halloween masks.
But the thing we didn't expect to find was a videotape. Could this be video evidence of the homicide?
I'm sorry, Cassie's family. She's gonna die.
These two boys stabbed this girl 30 times and are videoing their glee.
Just killed Cassie. We're by so fast.
Not really any warning signs. And if there were, I wish I would have seen them because I didn't.
It was just unimaginable. Obviously, I could never watch it again.
There was a list. They weren't done.
They were seeking me out as well.
Somebody's outside my window. Who's watching me? They were really into horror movies. They were trying to recreate Scream.
We're gonna be just like Scream. Kill them one by one.
You have a call from Idaho Maximum Security Institution.
Is there any topic that's off limits for you? No. Why Cassie?
There's no explanation, just misery.
I just really want my own children. I always tell them to choose their friends wisely.
Hey, another doco that starts with a 911 call. How good's this?
We love it. We love these ones.
911.
I need an ambulance.
Okay, what's going on?
Dad, I'm my dad. Oh, my dad is dead. I need an ambulance.
Right.
He's dead. He's dead. He's dead.
So it's a little bit hard to understand the caller. There's a fair bit of this in the documentary. It's sort of hard to hear or understand without subtitles. I don't know if you recognize that as well, particularly the calls that are made from prison, but you'll see what we mean. The caller is saying that they need an ambulance right away because they have just come home to find their cousin's daughter dead inside their house.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too sure, as you said, if we're going to be able to play the 911 call or not, but to me, the caller sounded like Cartman from South Park.
Oh, my God.
I knew I recognized that voice.
Who's making the call?
It's one of those 911 calls where you feel sort of terrible for laughing at them, but once you hear that Cartman voice, you sort of can't hear it now. Makes a lot of you guys, seriously? Oh, God. So jokes aside, this murder took place in a rural part of Pocatello, Idaho? Pocatello, Idaho. The house was fairly isolated and it was kind of in the middle of nowhere, so perfect scenario for like a horror movie theme here. When the police arrived, they enter through the basement, which was on the ground floor. Then they head upstairs, which leads into the living room. At the bottom of the stairs, they saw some broken glass on the ground, but strangely, there was no sign of forced entry. So it didn't look like anyone broke in a window or smashed in the door. There is this broken glass on the ground. They also find blood splatter in the hallway that led into the living room, and there, laying face up on the floor, was the lifeless body of 16-year-old Cassie Jo Stoddart. Cassie had been stabbed 29 times in her upper and lower body, and it was evident that many of those wounds were fatal. This was basically overkill. Around the room, there were signs of a struggle. She had defensive wounds on her hands to indicate she was trying to fight off the perpetrator, like in an attempt to block off some of those savage blows. Do you know what I mean? It happens quite often. They get cuts on their fingers or even lose fingers in this situation.
Yeah, I don't know, like a little part of me, I like that they've got defensive wounds. At least it shows that they fought for their, and they fought for their life as well. You know, it wasn't just a sort of a stab in the back or like a, like a coward sort of attack or anything like that. But
it freaks me out, that desperation of grabbing onto a blade that's coming your way, knowing it's going to fuck your hand up, but it's just that natural instinct.
Exactly, yeah, that's it. She wouldn't even been thinking about it.
No,
but this wasn't even Cassie's house that she was found, and she'd been housing for, I think it was her auntie and her uncle, and they were off for the weekend, I think. So apparently they left Friday night, and then they discovered her body Sunday morning when they returned.
Yeah, and that makes it even worse, doesn't it? She's just doing a favour for her auntie and uncle, looking after the place and the dog, and she ends up becoming a victim of this horrific crime. It's just, you just feel like it's unbelievably unlucky, and it's sort of looking like one of those wrong place, wrong time type of crimes, which are the worst. So as we said earlier, there was no sign of forced entry, and it didn't look like it had been robbed or ransacked, and they can't seem to be able to locate the knife that was used in the murder or even any witnesses to this. Because the attack was so violent and robbery or sexual assault didn't appear to be a motive, the police initially thought it might have been some kind of sociopath, probably like on a murderous rampage. They had no idea. Apparently 2 years earlier, almost to the day, there was another brutal murder that had remained unsolved. This was also involving a female. Her name was Nori Jones, and she was like same as Cassie. She was just home alone one evening. It had a lot of similarities to Cassie's murder, so the police definitely had alarm bells ringing if this could be the same killer striking again 2 years later, like an anniversary. It sounded.
Were you thinking a similar thing as well when you heard that?
Yeah,
like possibly it's another the same attacker.
Yeah, but this just sounds like a horror film again. We're going to keep referring back to that. So they know that Cassie's murder happened between Friday evening when her auntie and uncle left and Sunday morning. So they work to narrow down that timeline even further. At least it is within a fairly good range.
Yeah.
They find out that Cassie's mum had dropped her off with her boyfriend, Matt, at the house around 6:30 on the Friday night. Cassie and Matt were in high school together and had been dating for about 5 months. So, of course, the number one priority for police is to speak to Matt. You know, it's always the boyfriend.
Always.
They bring Matt down to the station for an interview along with his mum, who accompanies him in the room.
I'm just going over things because we were talking about rumors flying around and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm hearing rumors about, like, they, like, chopped off her legs, they chopped off her head, they broke her fingers, they cut her fingers off her hand, and all of this stuff.
What struck us as a little bit odd was the fact he had no emotion, really, whatsoever, after knowing that his girlfriend had been murdered.
Matt was way too relaxed in this interview for me. Like, he just showed zero emotions. And even talking about the rumors of that her body was chopped up at school. Like, just the way he spoke about it is just so cavalier. Like, blasé. It really stood out to me. Like,
yeah, I thought the same thing watching it. But the thing is, we've seen this so many times now. Some people come across really cold, or cold as ice in these interviews, and they end up being completely innocent. So we can't really judge guilt just on someone's emotion. But I guess for us, a normal reaction, relaying those, even just those rumors, that would break most people. That'd break me.
Yeah,
like, but it just seems to
talking about your girlfriend.
Yeah, it just seems to roll off his tongue, like he's just telling him what he ordered for dinner. You hear that comparison so often when just comparing it to ordering your food or your coffee or whatever, But that's what Matt was like. So Matt is telling detectives that while they were at the house, a couple of their other friends popped over around about 8 p.m. These guys, their names were Tori Adamczyk and Brian Draper, and they were actually friends with both Matt and Cassie, so they were just there to hang out. While they were there, they went on a bit of a tour of the house. They mucked around on the weights machine in the basement for just a little while before going upstairs and watching the movie Kill Bill. You seen Kill Bill?
Great film. Great.
Awesome.
We've got a poster of it. We've got a theatre room at the house. So one of the posters on the wall is Kill Bill.
Oh, theatre room. Must be nice.
Must be nice. just a short brag there, everybody.
As I sit in my podcast room. So between 9:30 and I think it was 10 p.m., both Tori and Brian left to go catch a movie. So that leaves just Cassie and Matt alone inside the house. Not long after they had left, Matt tells detectives that all the lights in the house went out, and they fucking freaked out because he felt like someone was inside the house. I think they could hear noises coming from the basement, but he couldn't be 100% sure. Now, it sounded like a horror film.
Yeah, definitely.
So Matt calls his mummy and says, this is what's happening. And he actually asked his mum if he could stay the night with Cassie, but his mum said, look, I'm not falling for that one, you horny little shit. I've heard this before.
Heard that one before. That's how you were conceived, you little turd.
We know all the tricks. So then she suggests that Cassie comes back to their house instead. So he's thinking, score. But Cassie insisted she was a really reliable teenager. So she felt obligated to stay at the house because she had to feed the dog and she had to let it out in the morning. So
I can't believe, considering how scared they were, Matt would just leave Cassie at the house by herself. Like,
I know.
It's quite a big house, and as you said, I think it's quite isolated on the street as well.
Yeah.
See you, Cassie. Good luck.
Yeah, I guess us looking at it from this lens,
knowing what's going to happen.
Yeah, knowing what's going to happen to her or what did happen to her, it's like easy for us to say that. That I don't think they went down to the basement to check it. We don't actually know that, but I think the lights had come back on and they probably just thought it was like a mini power outage, and then when it's silent in a house with the lights out, the houses sound weird. They move.
Yeah.
So Matt is picked up by his mummy at around about 11 p.m., leaving Cassie completely alone inside this creepy fucking house. The detectives seemed very interested if anyone had anything to eat while they were at the house with Cassie.
Did anybody try to eat? Did either one of them, Tori or Brian?
There were popsicles.
Other than that. Anybody did the drawers? Did a squad? Did anybody talk about getting cereal, getting milk? Anything like that?
Yeah, we went, because there's I showed them this huge knife that they've got. It's kind of really sharp and you have to pinch this thing to pull it out of its little thing. And I showed Brian that.
Where was that knife?
In the kitchen.
What did it look like?
Just there's knife that long even.
What color was it?
Black handle and silver blade.
Matthew, I just found out something that I didn't know, what you just told them. You didn't tell me this without any kind of, you showed them a knife. That would be a very important thing. You didn't tell me not a word about this. So, this interview is over right now, and, we will get in touch with you.
The mum did the absolute best thing she could at that moment. She knew there was a reason why the detectives were probing so hard on this knife, and she could see the potential that Matt was maybe going to incriminate himself. So she stopped the interview straight away and said, I just want to talk to Matt first before we go any further.
Yeah.
Good job.
Good
Mummy.
parenting. Yeah. Good job, mummy. Yeah. Well, and that, I mean, as frustrating that is for detectives. If you're a parent, you're thinking, hang on, my kid might accidentally talk himself into trouble. Yep. Like, she's not going to take any chances there. She did a good job, and she wasn't rude about it. She said, you know what? I didn't hear about this. I'm going to take him out. So the police are super interested in Matt talking about this knife because the autopsy showed that there were more than likely 2 knives that were used to stab and kill Cassie. So possibly 2 attackers or 1 attacker changing knives during the attack. It's not out of the realm of possibility.
No.
I've heard this before. And it's actually crazy to note here, in a lot of these stabbing frenzy cases, sometimes the knife will snap off.
That's exactly what I thought. Yeah, I thought that's a possibility, and then they grabbed another kitchen knife.
Yeah, but the fact that there was no murder weapon at the house, it appears that whoever came and did this came prepared with knives. So shortly after the mum put the kibosh on the interview, I had to use kibosh
again. Loving the kibosh.
Matt does actually come back in for another interview, and this time with both of his parents in the room with him. His mum apologises that they left so abruptly, but she was just taken off guard with this new information regarding Matt and the knife. So they offer Matt a polygraph test, which he is more than happy to participate in, and he actually passes with no issues at all. You know, I guess that cool and collected attitude he's had throughout has really paid off for him. The detectives seem to believe his story completely, and they're also able to corroborate most of the things that he's told them. So because of this, now their focus switches on the other 2 friends that were there that night, Tori and Brian. And police hope that they might be able to narrow down this timeline even a little further, or sort of figure out their movements a bit more. They start off by going to Tori's house, and man, this is only 7 hours after Cassie's body was discovered. So they're not fucking around here. They are on it. Tori tells them the same story as Matt. They arrived at the house, they played on the weights machine downstairs, watched Kill Bill, and ate popsicles. They narrowed everything down, you know, and eventually they left, I think they mentioned earlier, about between 9:30 and 10, to go to the movies to see the horror movie called Pulse, which I've not seen. I'll have to go see it.
I was going to ask you if you've even heard of it.
Can't say I have. No.
No.
So once the movie had finished, they both went back to Tori's house and they just hang out. That's basically their alibi. The detectives seem pretty happy that everything is lining up, but they still want to talk to Brian to get his side of the story and see if he's noticed something that night that might help the case. Brian was really, really helpful for the police, and he was very cooperative. He seemed like he had a good head on his shoulders. He told him the same story as Tori. You know, they were being at the house and they head off to see the movie Pulse. But when a detective asked Brian what the movie was about, he couldn't answer. Like, it was really odd. The detective pressed him on for any details of the movie. Like, anything. Give me something. The storyline, main character, even just like what theater room the movie was played in. But Brian couldn't give them any information at all.
Super suspicious.
Mm-hmm. He just said the movie was boring, and that's why he didn't pay attention. Shitty
like Brenda from Scary Movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were watching Shakespeare in Love. Yeah, I can talk, girl.
So, like, he can literally recall none of it at all. So, obviously, the police are super suspicious, and they want to talk to Brian a little bit more down at the station, which Brian and his parents agree to do. He heads down to the station. He goes into the interrogation room alone while his parents wait outside. I'm not sure I'd let my 16-year-old do that. Don't know about you.
No way. As we said before, it's so suspicious that he remembers literally nothing about this movie, particularly that they're both quite big movie buffs as well.
Yeah,
know
particularly horror.
Something. Even if it's shit, you'd know something to then critique it and be able to say it's shit because of this or this, you know?
Exactly right. I was bored in the first 5 minutes because the intro went for fucking forever or whatever. But especially when you talk about two horror movie fanatics like Brian and Tori, you would remember the something, like you mentioned, and especially if you drove across town to watch it. It just doesn't seem like they even watched it at all. So clearly the police are thinking something is fishy, and they tighten the screws even more on Brian. And this is where Brian tells them, okay, I fess up. I was lying. We didn't go to the movies. We were going through cars to try and steal stuff from inside. So this is the reason Brian gives detectives for lying. He felt like they've done something wrong. They're doing something that's illegal, going through cars. So they made up this story about watching the movie. But when police pressed Brian for specific details on what cars they went through, or even what color they were, Brian's memory or ability to bullshit is as good as my ability to pronounce surnames. He just can't do it.
It can't be done.
It can't be done. The cops they know he's bullshitting, so they continue to push him until the point they offer him a polygraph test. Brian agrees to do it because he wants to clear his name. Dumbass. Brian does come back in the next day with his parents, but right before he sits down with the polygrapher, he tells the detectives he wants to tell them something. And usually it's when someone does that, they've got something to say. They put the test on hold and instead go to an interrogation room along with both of Brian's parents, Pam and Kerry. The part of the audio throughout these interrogation rooms, quite hard to hear, so we're going to try and break it down as best we can. We'd like to have most of the audio, but if it sounds shitty, we just won't have it in. But basically Brian tells them that after they left their house around about 9:30 p.m., they parked just down the street and they walked back to the house. They had entered through an unlocked basement door, which they had set up previously while they were downstairs at the house, and that's when they shut the lights off to mess with both Matt and Cassie. This is when, after a little bit of time goes by, they smashed a glass at the bottom of the stairs to try and lure them down there, but nobody came down. Matt and Cassie were upstairs shitting themselves, and I do not blame them.
As if that's going to lure these two teenagers downstairs. Oh, let's smash a glass to make it seem like an intruder is in. That'll definitely make them come downstairs.
I'll be jumping out the window. Fuck that.
I know.
So they wait patiently, and eventually they see Matt getting picked up by his mum around about 11 p.m. So, man, they've been waiting patiently down in this basement. They turn the lights off. They're fucking with them. But now they have Cassie all alone. Both Brian and Tori sneak up the stairs wearing these fucking creepy-ass Halloween masks.
Yeah.
And they see Cassie alone on the couch. She asked who is there because even though it was dark, she could sense someone was in the room. This is when Tori took out his large knife and just started stabbing Cassie over and over. Brian was screaming at him to stop because at this point he thought this was all just a prank to scare Cassie. But Tori didn't stop. He yelled back, I killed her, and all Brian could do was look in horror. As they left the house, Tori turned to Brian and threatened him that if he told anyone, he would kill him as well.
Yeah, Brian said, he was definitely there for the murder when it occurred, but he didn't partake in the stabbing at all.
Yeah.
Do you believe him?
Not really. Not really.
Yeah,
He's handballing all the guilt and the murder onto Tori, which is smart. I'd do the same thing. You'd be fucked if we ever had this situation.
All right. Fucking I'm talking to the police first, then Buster Brown.
But the problem is with his story, even if he didn't hold a knife and he wasn't involved, he still walked back into that house wearing this fucking creepy mask, knowing that something bad was about to happen. So, he's not completely innocent here. Brian can... Yeah, exactly. Brian continues to tell the detectives that after they left the house in Tori's car, they drove to Black Rock Canyon to just get rid of a few things. He agrees with the police to take him up there, this place was really remote. It's like the desert. So apparently they buried a bunch of this evidence. So the police go to that exact spot and they start digging. The first thing to be uncovered was there was bloody clothing, there was gloves, the Halloween mask that we described earlier, and 3 knives. But shockingly, and Brian didn't mention this in the interrogation, there was a videotape as well.
Why would they bury all these things together? It's just, if someone's lucky enough to come across this little bury spot, they're going to find all the evidence all together, all as one.
Yeah, it appears that they attempted to destroy some of the evidence by setting it on fire. But I think just by being in a remote area like this desert and burying what are the chances someone's going to come across it? Brian led them straight to it.
Yeah, true.
Probably tried maybe 10 times. They've never been on the room, so when they have, then parents show up. He's always patient, and you're patient, you never get paid off because I missed him so more. So we got our plan all worked out now, so. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Cassie's family, but she had been rewarded. We have to stick with the plan. But she's perfect, so she's gonna die.
So this video we just played for you now, it's just a snippet of what the police saw. The video shows Brian and Tori writing their plan for the evening, and Brian telling the camera that they are sorry to Cassie's family, but she is going to be home all alone and it's the perfect person to kill that evening. And it's just chilling. You can tell they're not joking as well. It's like they've been planning this for a while, and this opportunity of killing Cassie all alone in this house while she's house sitting, perfect.
Yeah, they're excited about it.
Yeah, they're super excited. They also filmed Cassie throughout this day. It was that morning, and she's by her locker, and she's smiling at Brian, and Brian's asking where Tori is, and she's saying, I don't know where he is, and he's like, oh, you don't really care. And she's like, nah. You can just tell she's this sweet girl. She's like, why are you filming me?
Yeah.
But that video switches from about that moment, and it switches to later that evening with Tori and Brian driving to the house discussing what they both plan on doing to Cassie.
We're here in his car. The time is 9:50, September 22nd, 2006. Unfortunately, we have the grueling task of killing our two friends, and they are right in a house just down the street.
We just talked to them. We were there for an hour.
We checked out the whole house. We know there's lots of doors. There's lots of places to hide. I locked the back doors, so it's all locked. Now we just gotta wait. And yeah, we're really nervous right now, but we're ready.
We're listening to the greatest rock band ever.
We've waited for this for a long time.
Pink Floyd. Before we commit the ultimate crime of murder.
We waited for this for a long time.
A long time.
We'll stay tuned.
The timestamp on the camera hits 9:54 p.m. and then it cuts out. It starts back up again when they hit record at 11:31 p.m. and it's Brian and Tori again back in the car. Tori is the one with the higher voice and Brian with the deeper, and he's doing most of the talking in this one.
Just killed Cassie. We just left her house. This is not a fucking joke. I stabbed her in the throat and I saw her lifeless body just disappear. Dude, I just killed Cassie. Oh, fuck. That felt like it wasn't even real. I mean, it went by so fast.
Shut the fuck up. We gotta get our act straight.
It's okay. Okay, let's buy movie tickets now.
Okay.
Come on.
No.
Goodbye.
This videotape, it completely disproves what Brian was telling the detectives, that it was apparently all Tori and he thought it was just a prank or whatever he said. This is clear premeditation.
Mm-hmm. So not only were they both participants in the planning and execution, but they were also planning on other murders with a hit list and and then finishing off with one big school shooting at the end. I think they were obsessed with Columbine as well.
Yeah, they were.
And this tape, man, is probably one of the more disturbing bits of evidence we've ever covered. Like, it's one thing to plan it. That's another thing to film yourself laughing about before and after. They were giddy.
Yeah,
literally giddy.
That's the perfect word for it. Yeah, they are.
Yeah, and I think it was Tori who mentioned. I think he mentioned he was aroused at about what they had just done, which is so fucked up.
Yeah,
So they both say on the tape as well that this would be the perfect ending, the school shooting, and would rack up their kill numbers so much. They want to be famous for what they're
that's
planning.
right. That's all they want. They just want infamy from kills.
Yep. And as soon as the detectives have finished watching this video, they arrested Brian right there and they booked him on first-degree murder. Tori, meanwhile, has no idea Brian has just been arrested and spilled the fucking beans, and they ask him to head to the station for another interview. His parents don't really want him to go, and they want to organise a lawyer for him. And even at this stage, they don't know what's gone down. They don't know if Tori is even involved. They apparently go back and forth, and they're going to retain a lawyer or not. They're just not really sure, but they opt to go in for an interview, which is surprising. So inside the interrogation room, you've got the detectives, Tori, and both of his parents. Tori seems to be very relaxed and casual while talking to him, almost like Matt. And Brian was very similar as well. Very cool, calm, and collected. He tells them the exact same story as before, but this time he also makes sure to include that part about breaking into cars instead of going to the movies.
His mum was fucking beside herself when she heard about him apparently breaking into cars. But what the heck? That's a felony, young man. You are going to be so much trouble when you get home, Buster.
You are grounded.
You are
for life.
Get ready for a smack bottom.
So, I mean, it's clear to detectives that Brian and Tori had spoken and adjusted their story after those first initial police interviews. So they've heard enough, and they tell him straight out that they know he's full of shit, and they know a lot more than he thinks that they do. Tori knows he's cooked and smartly asks for a lawyer, which stops the interview. But one of the detectives stays in the room and talks to the dad in front of Tori about the evidence they have. Which
that was interesting.
Very naughty, and I'm not sure if that's legal or not. Because technically he's not asking questions of Tori. It's almost like, okay, I'm going to tell you over here what I know and see if he says anything. I'm not asking any questions.
Yeah. Is it just a taunt, Tori?
Yeah, I think so. Smart.
We do know that they murdered Cassie. We got the evidence at this point to prove that. So is that like
I'm sorry, that's the way it goes.
He's going to be charged with first-degree murder.
We know the details. We've got the knife that she used. We've got the masks that she used. We've got the videotape.
This is right, Tori, and what they're saying is true. So
even though Tori knows he's done, he still doesn't show any emotions. As you said before, he's just cool, calm, collected, exactly like Matt, the boyfriend.
Yeah, and that lack of emotion, that really unsettles me. It's like he's accepted the outcome before they've even finished speaking.
Yeah, it just seems like he's got no empathy for anything.
That's it. Yeah. No repercussions for what he's done, or even if there are, who gives a shit. So both of the boys are charged with first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. The police tell Tori's mum that even though they are 16 years old, they might end up facing 20 years in prison. A few of their classmates are interviewed throughout the documentary. Actually, they get a lot of the classmates. It's quite impressive.
Yeah.
And they couldn't believe that one of their friends was brutally murdered, but like two of their other friends could commit such a crime. To them, it just like blew their mind. It would have like that
100%
infamy around that school now. You know, this story from 20 years ago, it will live on forever. It'll be like Columbine. So they talk about how both were good kids and they were easy to be around, but after 10th grade, Tori in particular changed a lot. He always seemed to be angry and he looked mean all the time. Those hormones have kicked in and he's a son of a bitch. He always had a lot of knives and he had a bit of a knife obsession, as well as being super into Halloween or horror movies. After the arrest is also when the news of their kill list is made known. And one of their friends, Danny, who you see on the documentary, she seems to be on top of that list. And the police had even discovered videos that the boys had made of them outside her house, scoping it out for possible murder. Ugh. They used to sit across from her house in the church car park and just watch her house for hours.
How fucking horrifying for this girl, Danny, to find out this information. And thinking, well, it could have been me that night. Like, if I was just the right opportunity, the right circumstance, it would have been her. Like, she was top of the list.
But also an exciting story to tell everyone.
Oh, very exciting.
I would tell everyone. I'd meet you after 1 minute. Hey, did I ever tell you the story about those guys that went to jail for murder? They scoped my house out. Also on the list was this girl named Kirsten. They had also gone to her house one night to see if she was home alone. And in their own words, if she is home alone when we get there, splat. What does splat mean? What does splat mean?
I don't know. What? Yeah. Are they going to squish her?
I don't know.
Oh,
So-
fuck, I hate these turds.
Yeah, I hate them too. So along
I don't
with
care
the-
what you think of them, JB. I don't like them.
No,
No, I'm going to die on that hill.
So along with this kill list, they also had a list of items that would need to carry out the murders and storyline scenarios. And this is based all on the movie Scream, where they were the main characters in this movie and they wanted Cassie to unknowingly participate in this movie type scenario.
God, they're such fuckheads. These guys are just so focused on killing somebody, just anybody. They jump between targets like they're fucking nothing. And it's not like these people on the kill list, that's what they called it, the kill list?
Yeah.
It's not like they hated them or anything.
No.
They're just looking for the right opportunity to kill somebody.
Yep. And that's Cassie wasn't targeted because she did anything wrong, like you're saying. She was targeted because she just happened to be vulnerable that night. Like I said it, that's the scariest part of this whole case, but wrong time, wrong place. It's awful. The town can't believe that these two 16-year-old kids could commit such a horrific crime. Brian's dad, Kerry, believed that because they were juveniles, they would be treated as such, but this was not going to be the case at all. Usually juveniles are trialed in a juvenile court, but a murder charge is an automatic waiver of this, and that's why they will be trialed in the adult court system. So Brian's attorney, Dave Martinez, believes Brian's story about the prank, and he believes that Tori is the actual murderer. So he's going to try and push the blame onto him to save his client, Brian.
Yeah, of course he is. And this is also like the same part in the doco where both sets of parents, they blame the other one as well for getting their son into trouble and heading them down the wrong path almost.
Yeah.
Like my kid was an angel, fucking blah, 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 blah. All that sort of fucking horse shit.
Yeah.
But I think they spurred each other on, really. Like they're both equally to blame. Just like, I mean, a single flame and a thing of petrol, like they're harmless apart, but together they could potentially be explosive.
Yeah, these two were only friends for like 4 months prior to the murder. So
That's crazy.
Crazy escalation. It's
I couldn't
probably
believe that when I heard it.
Yeah, it's probably somewhere in the middle. Like they found someone who shared the same obsession, and instead of talking each other out of it, they encouraged each other until fantasy became reality. Now, I don't know. Like, it can easily happen. It's like gamblers as well. You hang out with another gambler, it's just not a good mix. You end up losing all your coin.
Yeah.
Someone that has a bit of some sort of idea of, I wonder what it would be like to kill someone, meets another person with that same thought, and they had some sort of weird conversation one night, and all of a sudden they're planning shit. And
It's
then
like
it just
us
snowballs.
talking about this podcast.
Exactly.
You know what we should do? And now fucking look at us.
I know. Here we are.
Sitting in a dark room with a microphone. Talking about murder.
Yeah, it's our outlet. At least we're not out there murdering people. Yet. They both had an obsession with horror movies and knives, which, I mean, a lot of teenagers do. I mean, I love horror movies, not so much knives, but it's almost like these two were morphing into like some sort of made up movie world and reality. So back inside the courtroom, the boys' attorneys plead for separate trials, which they were granted. This is going to work in their favor for each defense to blame the other one, and this might actually help in getting them a lesser sentence, because the jury or the courts won't be able to decide, okay, this is the ringleader, this is the person to blame.
Yeah.
So it might actually help them. Yeah. Brian's attorneys decide to go first, knowing that they'll be mounting similar cases. So I think they just wanted to get on the front foot, throw Tori under the bus for the actual murder. But they're also focusing on Brian showing a lot of emotion when he first confessed, but even though that wasn't really real.
No, that was the whole saying, it was just a prank and that Tori did all the stabbing and
exactly.
Blah, blah,
he
blah.
put on such a great show. I got to say, he did a good job at acting really upset that he didn't know it was going to happen, and the tears looked real. But then we spoke about this the other day about when everyone leaves the room. Majority of people in an interview room know that the video is still rolling and the audio is still rolling, and they say things as almost like evidence-wise. And he was saying things along the lines of, "Oh, I tried to stop him, Cassie. I'm so sorry, Cassie. I wanted to be your boyfriend, Cassie." All this bullshit. And it was so hammed up, and it was like, "Shut up, Ryan, you egg."
Oh, 100%. He knew the camera's on him.
Yeah. So, and it wasn't only just the emotion that he showed in the courtroom that the defense might help his case, but it was also the fact that he took the detectives to where all the evidence was buried. So you got to sort of see, it's like there must have been something in Brian's mind where he did feel some guilt or empathy towards Cassie, but I just don't think he could admit full guilt at that time. Knowing his parents were in the room, like it'd be a horrible thing to admit. So he might have been genuinely really upset in that moment, but just didn't want to admit to what he had done.
Yeah, both of his parents seemed really, really nice, particularly his dad. I really felt for the dad, Kerry.
Man.
And I think you're right. With them sitting next to him, he didn't want to say it in front of them, but I think they were spurring him on to do the right thing, like taking where the evidence is and all those types of things.
Man, fucking Brian's dad, Kerry, he messes you up in this documentary. We can talk about this at the end, but he messed me up in this documentary because he is so raw throughout it. Anyway, we'll get to that. His attorneys are confident both the judge and the jury will take all this stuff that Brian's done into account and see that Tori was more likely to be the one that committed the murder. Tori's attorney, on the other hand, doing the same thing. They're pointing the finger at Brian. They're saying that they were his knives and it was his shirts that were packed that night. Regardless of either of the arguments, the videotape that they made is damning. Both Tori and Brian's attorneys tried their hardest to keep that videotape out of the trial.
Fucking good luck.
But why? I don't know how or for what reason. But of course it was denied and it was played in court for everyone to watch. But not only to watch the clear premeditation, but also the glee, the giddiness that I mentioned earlier, and the excitement in both of the boys just sitting there with hard-ons talking about how they killed Cassie.
Yeah. Everyone in that courtroom were gobsmacked after watching that video. Even like both the boys' parents and fucking poor Cassie's family to have to sit there and watch that.
Yeah. Yeah. Imagine being on that jury as well. Because I reckon the moment that tape finished, everyone's mind was made up. Like,
how could it not? That's obviously why the defense attorneys want to keep the tape out, because they knew that's the noose.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, it's Tori's defense say that apart from the video, everything else involving Tori is circumstantial. Like there was only Tori's DNA on one of the masks and his shirt, but only Brian's DNA was on every item, including the 3 knives. So Brian also confessed in a later interrogation that he helped stab Cassie, but Tori never said anything about his part. He asked for a lawyer before he could even get to that. So Brian initially saying he was just there and he didn't get involved. He actually had stabbed Cassie. I mean, I think he might have only said that he stabbed her once, potentially.
Yeah.
You know, like almost like look away, stab. But nah, he was involved in the murder just as much.
I only killed her once.
The defense maintains Draper thought all along he was only making a home movie and that Adamczyk is responsible for the murder.
The problem with Draper's interviews are he never tells the truth.
They were bigger, they were stronger, and they were armed with knives that evening. Cassie didn't stand a chance.
So Cassie's DNA was discovered on one mask and one shirt, both of which were Brian's. Her DNA was also only found on one of the knives, which was Brian's as well, which doesn't make a lot of sense because the autopsy showed that at least 2 knives were used in her murder. So that's weird.
That was odd to me, unless they cleaned, like Tori cleaned his knife or
potentially.
I don't know.
Yeah, or like in the attempt to burn some of the evidence. I don't know how DNA works. I'm not a nerd. So the prosecution had like pretty easy case with all this evidence. Both of the boys putting themselves there, and of course the videotapes. Both of the boys' trials basically end up in the same way and as guilty of first-degree murder. Now, I don't know about you, but watching the judge here, he seemed really remorseful in handing out a sentence to these boys. It's almost like he felt like his hand. It looked to me that his hands were tied, and he had to make an example out of both of them.
Yeah. He was torn. He knew the severity of the crime and what he had to do, but then to deliver that to 2 16-year-old boys, he understood the weight of his decision.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, you can see he almost apologizes to the families, and he does say he wanted to sentence the boys both together at the same time, and he told the families that he wanted to make an example out of them. And Brian's family was told to prepare for, I think it was up to 30 years in prison, which, I mean, they're only 16 years old, so I mean, I know 30 years is a long time, but at least they're still like halfway through their life and they can get out. But they still felt like that was a fucking long time. But at least they'll have a chance at appeal and parole. So the boys are both led back into the court to face the judge and have him hand down his sentence.
You both have been convicted of murder in the first degree. Cassie was savagely stabbed many times. Disguised yourselves with masks and darkness, which made it even more frightening for her. You both were excited about the killing. It was a cold-blooded, horrific act. A life sentence that is fixed without the possibility of parole.
Life in prison without the possibility of parole.
Yeah.
Man.
As we said before, like the judge during it, he understands that these guys are just kids, but he 100% feels like if they're released, they're going to kill again.
I didn't know how I felt about that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What if it was your daughter?
Oh, no,
that was murdered?
Yeah, I mean, I'm without putting myself in those shoes, I just sort of felt like these murders from these two teenagers, it was because they were both egged each other on, and it was almost more like they wanted to know what it felt like to kill. I think Brian felt a bit of remorse after. I wasn't so sure that they wouldn't have learned from these actions and being so young that they would definitely do it again. Yeah. I think that's just a bold statement to make, that 100% if these guys are released, they're going to kill again. I don't particularly agree with that. But
I think the fact that they were planning like a kill list, they were stalking other people, other potential victims.
I 100% agree with you, but it's almost like that fantasy was cut as soon as the deed was done and they were caught.
Yeah, but then I mean, then you saw their giddiness after the murder as well.
Yeah, I mean that was before they were caught. They knew they were fucked. So maybe after, with the realization and this reality that they're in now. I don't know if they would, but yeah. I mean, it's who knows? For the judge to say he feels like 100% if they release, they'll kill again. I just think he's just trying to justify what he's about to hand down, you know. And the other people on their hit list to murder, they must have like breathed a huge sigh of relief as well.
Yeah,
you know, like the boys made it clear that their intention was to kill as many people as possible and become infamous for doing so, just like you were saying. So, like both of the boys' parents felt the sentence was cruel. They feel that they were only kids, so they shouldn't be thrown away and not be given the chance to rehabilitate. Brian's dad in particular, he felt a huge amount of guilt for what his son did and ended up just giving everything that he owned away. He just wanted to disappear. You know, he said that he gave away well over $1 million worth of real estate alone. Not sold, just gave it away.
Yeah, just from guilt. I don't think the people that commit these sorts of crimes have fully realized the ripple effect it has on them. Not just the victim and the victim's family, but like everyone that victim has come in contact with, like, and the perpetrator's families too. Like as we see with the boys' parents, you know, I mean, we just see how broken Brian's dad Kerry is throughout this. It's heartbreaking.
Yeah. And Brian's dad really drove that home. You could tell he was carrying this guilt every single day. And even though he wasn't the one who committed the crime, you know, this is when we hear from both Brian and Tori inside the prison now. So I think we're in part 3 of the documentary and we finally see them in today. I think it was 2025. They're both now 35 years old.
Yeah, it's crazy to see them as adults.
What do you think of their appearance?
Yeah, they were hot. I don't know.
No, I just
you only see like
looked...
a real extreme close up of Brian.
But I just thought they looked good, considering they've been in jail for 20 years. They're in their mid-30s now. A lot of the times when you see these people that go to jail in their younger years, and prison is such a hard life, they just look like shit. But they both looked really well put together from what you could see.
Yeah,
They both got well-manicured beards. Tori's wearing a hat for some reason.
Yeah, I thought actually that stood out to me. I was like, well, they give fucking baseball caps to the prisoners now. Is that part of the uniform?
And in the background behind Brian, you can see there's a TV on. It just looked like they were in a dormitory almost, like not proper jail.
Yeah.
You know, and the good thing about this, they both seem to be pretty open about their parts in the murder, and it seemed like they accepted their punishment. But in Brian in particular, he feels like the man he is today isn't the same person as the 16-year-old that committed his crime. Now, this is interesting. I'd seen another documentary of this case many, many years ago, and it was completely different to this one because back when they did this other documentary, it was not too long after the murders themselves, and Brian was completely he had already accepted that he had done the wrong thing and he was where he belonged, whereas Tori, no, not at all. And his parents were on that same opinion as well. Like, this was all Brian. He shouldn't be where he is. Tori could not come to terms with it and would not even admit it, that he was part of it. And in this documentary, he does say that it took him a long time to get to that, to say, you know, I put my hand up and own up to what I did and accept it. That's the only way he could move on in his own life, even though he still needs to live with it every day. Yeah. So I thought this was really good because my opinion on Tori going into watching this documentary was really low. I mean, it still is obviously really low for both of them because of what they did. But the fact that they are now taking full ownership of it, there is no option for them getting out in the future. They're in there for life. So unless they get some sort of government or governor grant, or is it like pardon? There's no chance he's getting out. So there's nothing in it for either of them to be going, I accept full responsibility or talk bullshit.
It's just the weight off their soul, really. Like they'll finally be able to move forward within themselves.
Exactly. And something I took note of here too, we just said that Brian had mentioned that he wasn't the same person that he was. He felt like he was living in this punishment, or he was serving a sentence for a person that's not him. It's like he's serving it for someone else. I thought that was really interesting.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Because you think about it, when you're a teenager and your stupid decisions, like one of those decisions was, fucking mental when you end up killing somebody.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So we're getting a little bit off track here, but Brian said as he grew into his teenage years, he directed a lot of his confusion and feelings of being different into violence and feeling fascinated with the Columbine shooters. Also note here that Brian was adopted as well. So I think he probably felt like he didn't really belong anywhere. I know a lot of people Wade Wilson was like that as well. So Brian, this fascination with the Columbine shooters, he was watching their released home videos every day. So he even bought himself a trench coat and he fully immersed himself in this. And he thought they were the coolest people on the planet, the trench coat mafia. He thought he would be able to go to school and being seen as the cool villain and might be able to get that girl.
Because that's what girls love.
They're like scrawny, Weasley fucking losers with trench coats.
They talk about a kill list.
Yes. And as we said before, Tori also takes full responsibility for his part in killing Cassie, but it took him a long time to admit it, like we said. And as soon as that he told the truth and came clean, he felt like that huge weight you mentioned earlier had been lifted off his chest. He could finally stop being this piece of shit kid that he was and start moving on to be his true self. And being his true self, Chris, it wasn't just being him as a person. It was also for him to come out as being gay as well. So he felt like that also didn't help his anger as a teenager, having to hide this away. And it wasn't until years and years and years later he could tell his mum.
Yeah, I think he said that his family were quite religious as well. So, and it definitely didn't seem like his mum would have been the accepting type if he came out as gay to her.
Yeah, definitely need to pray the gay away for sure. So it certainly sounds like he felt like he couldn't be himself growing up, and that might explain some of the anger, but it doesn't explain or excuse what they did to Cassie. And we all grow up with bullshit. I know you did in particular. I had a pretty cruisy upbringing, but it's how it's what you do with your upbringing that shows who you are as a person later on in life. When he tells his mum in prison, he said it was the hardest thing I have to tell you. And his mum said, Tori, after everything we've been through, this is small potatoes. So she was accepting of it in the end. She said that if this whole murder situation never happened, she probably wouldn't have been okay with him coming out as gay.
Fucking idiot. Like, I was shocked. Shooketh.
And appalled.
Shooketh, as the kids would say. I was thinking, you're being filmed by Netflix in 2026. You can pick your words, bitch. Like, whether you thought this back in the day or not, like, don't be that fucking piece of shit.
Yeah, mate, I nearly spat my drink out. That's one of those brutally honest comments when you're thinking, did you really want that left in the documentary? You know?
Yeah.
So the argument for their age at the time is still running rampant with some people. And because of the brain development not being complete at age of 16, them as adults shouldn't be punished for their actions as teenagers. I totally understand that. Professor of psychology Lawrence Steinberg said that an adolescent brain is like a car with the accelerator pressed down to the floor and not a good braking system. And it's not until
behind the wheel.
What'd you say?
And Mackenzie behind the wheel.
Behind the wheel, exactly. Yeah, and it's not until the late teens and early 20s that self-control tends to improve. And I don't think the brain fully develops until you're 25.
Oh, really?
Okay. So that they say that adults a lot of the time will kill for motive, jealousy, money, revenge, like all the normal reasons. But there have been a lot of accounts where kids and teenagers have murdered for no reason at all, apart from to see what it was like to emulate a movie, almost like what Brian and Tori are doing here.
Yeah, just curiosity and just impulsive.
Yeah, that's it. And so there's this big argument if they should be allowed to appeal or even have a chance to prove their rehabilitation, that they should be able to do that based on this fact of their brains weren't developed when they were 16.
Yeah.
So apparently in America, it's the only country that will lock up youth for life without the possibility of parole, which is
that was
crazy.
surprising to me.
Yeah, in 2012, the Supreme Court ruled that it was, in fact, unconstitutional for juveniles convicted of homicide to receive mandatory sentences of life without the possibility of parole. Now, they didn't say that it was going to be retroactive, though, so it might not affect the cases that were prosecuted prior to this ruling. So Brian and Tori are basically screwed. Some states decided to resentence anyone that had been given automatic life without parole, but Idaho did not change their status and would not resentence existing criminals. So both still in prison. They have nothing to do with each other anymore. I think they see each other in passing every now and again.
Yeah, I was actually surprised that they were in the same prison.
Yeah, same, but they just keep them apart. I think, and they did that intentionally. I think as soon as the murders happened and they were both caught, they did that bond had broken from that point on.
Yeah.
So they pretty much stopped talking as soon as they got into prison, and they're basically just civil to each other when they pass each other in the yard. They had, I think Brian mentioned, they had one single conversation about 10 years ago where Brian stopped Tori one day in the gym, the fucking gym. Tori actually didn't even recognize Brian because at this stage, I think they would have been like 25 years old and now men.
Well,
so
totally different.
Yeah, exactly. So I
Tori
think
might have been thinking, "Oh, who's this guy? He's coming to pick me up.
Yeah.
Who's this hottie?
Hello." Tori's mum basically says in the doco that her life isn't normal. It's like it's not there anymore. They don't watch home movies or look at photo albums anymore. It's like a part of them is gone, or it's just too hard to look at.
Yeah, I get that, but she's got other kids as well. Like, I don't know. Like, you've got to accept that for what it is.
Her world blew up, and she really took it to heart that it was her parenting skills that might have led to this, even though she felt like she had done everything as a parent. You could see she was a loving parent. They show a lot of home movies, and she goes to all the games, and she was always there for him. And she had that guilt of like, where did I go wrong with Tori?
Yeah. She felt she failed as a parent, and she's got no right to give any advice or parent her other kids.
Yeah, and
that was hard to listen to.
It was, and barring the gay, not accepting that him being gay, if the murders didn't happen, that comment, I think she redeemed herself in this documentary because that one I'd watched previously, she was an absolute fuckwit.
Right, okay.
Yeah,
so she's done a lot of growing up as well.
She has. I think she has learned to accept that Tori did fuck up and that sweet little boy that she knew was actually involved and it wasn't just all Brian.
Yeah.
So Brian's dad, Kerry, he's asked if he feels Brian should be given a second chance. And he said that that's a really hard question because Cassie was never given a second chance. He still holds so much guilt for the times he wasn't there or times he should have listened to his son Brian.
I take responsibility for my children. I raised them. If anybody could have prevented it, it would have been me, and I didn't. I would trade my time for the freedom of my son. If I could walk in there and he could walk out, if I could spend the rest of my life in there, I would, in a moment, if he could come out.
I've got to be honest. Like, this part choked me up a little bit. So see, his heartbreak throughout the documentary was so telling. Like, it's almost as if he took all the responsibility of Cassie's murder onto himself. And when you look at Kerry from when the murder took place in the interrogation, the old footage, to what he looks like now, he just looks like a shell of his former self, doesn't he?
He's so broken.
His voice is all fucked up as well. He sounds like Nicholas's mum from The Imposter.
Yeah, he's lost heaps of weight as well.
Yeah,
he's grown his hair long. I think he said he used to work in a corporate setting, and now he just, as he said before, he sold everything. He's grown his hair long. He just does not look good.
No, he looks like Cletus from The Simpsons. And he obviously had done well for himself. Like he said, he had like millions of dollars or whatever in property and gave it all away. Like I said, he is just a shell. That him standing there pointing at the prison saying that he would happily take Brian's place. Oh man, this is a really horrifying case and really sad altogether. But for some reason, that just got me.
Yeah, for sure. Like, especially that he keeps reliving all those little things that he might have done wrong, or the times that he didn't listen to Brian, his son, or the times that he was away for work, he should have been home. You can't go through your whole life and every step with a fine-tooth comb. You'll just drive yourself insane.
No, but you would though, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Do you think they should be released?
Oh, I don't know. When they started talking about the redemption and, you shouldn't be punished for what you did as a 16-year-old, I was like, no, fucking whatever. You did the crime, now do the time. But then as it sort of went on, I could see both sides.
Yeah. I hate because my initial reaction is, nah, fuck them.
Yeah.
But then but I agree that they aren't the same people anymore, and they are more than likely rehabilitated. And then I think, should they be given a second chance? And like, Cassie didn't get that second chance. Kerry mentions that. But law and punishment don't serve the purpose of an eye for an eye. You know what I mean? So just because Cassie didn't get that second chance doesn't mean that they can't. And the whole purpose of prison is supposed to be rehabilitation. That's what its sole purpose is, even though it's not really the case. And then I had the thought maybe the victim's family could have a say, but then they're just too emotional to make that decision. It's probably too much weight to put on them. There's no correct answer.
And you hear from victims' families all the time. Like, some families will say, "Nah, fuck them, make them rot." I don't give a shit what happens to them as long as they suffer. And then you get another one where it's a month after their loved one had been murdered, and they say, "No, I forgive them."
It's generally the religious types that are like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's in their religion to feel that forgiveness in their heart, and that's the way they can move on.
Yeah. So there's too many factors.
That's it.
By allowing the family to help with the decision making with that.
Everyone's hurting regardless. There's no winners in this.
Yeah.
And we didn't mention it throughout our little spiel here, but that psychologist that I had on, he was involved in a case where a 14-year-old had murdered another 14-year-old with a baseball bat. And I think 37 years later, he was involved at his appeal in court and got this guy out of jail. And he said it was just like he put that evidence to the court about teenagers' brains not being fully developed. And that solely got this guy out of jail. But they interviewed the mum of this poor 14-year-old boy that was murdered, and she did not agree with it at all.
No.
She was like, no way in hell should he be released. I don't give a fuck whether he's rehabilitated,
Yeah,
So,
because that guy did seem like he was rehabilitated.
Yeah, 100%. I look at Tori and Brian now, and I think they are as well. But do they deserve to be getting out? Probably not yet. They're still only 35 years old. I'd like to see them, if they were going to get out, maybe when they're 60 or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's no real answer.
No.
So what were your thoughts on the documentary anyway?
I thought it was really good. I think there was a lot of heartbreaking moments in it. Like, seeing Cassie's family and also, particularly Brian's dad. I know we keep going on about him, but you've got to watch this documentary just for Carrie alone. It's a lot of heartbreaking moments, but really, really fascinating. And the fact that we got to see those videos that Tori and Brian made leading up to it and then afterwards, it's so rare to see. To see just those raw emotions and the adrenaline in their faces going in, but then the shocking glee afterwards. Like, there wasn't like, oh my god, I can't believe what the fuck did we just do? It was, oh my god, I'm just horny thinking about it, and exactly. So.
And what I was surprised, and the homicide detectives were surprised too, that when they put the video on to watch it, that they thought they were going to witness the murder itself. But for some reason, they didn't record it. I can only imagine there was some sort of big fucking camcorder or something, and they wanted to both have all, like, hands on deck, so to speak. But I thought that there might have been another tape out there that potentially has the murder on it. But
oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know. It was just a thought. Like, why have all this footage of the before and after, but nothing during? Especially if in their minds that they were acting out their horror movie fantasies.
I guess that's the ultimate scene for the movie.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I thought the documentary was good as well. A bit of a lesser known case as well, which is good.
But the doco just came out this year.
Not really much more to say. I think we did. Unfortunately, there wasn't a hell of a lot on Cassie's family. No one of her family was interviewed for the documentary. Unfortunately, her mum passed away in 2022 of cancer, so that was super sad. I know that their family and Matt were heavily affected by the murder, but obviously they didn't want to be a part of it, so there wasn't too much to say about them. Unfortunately, it was heavily focused on Brian and Tori and their parents. But no, great doco, and I guess we should just move on because that was a really sad one, and I need to get over it. Yeah, it wasn't as much humour in this one, but a bit hard sometimes. Can't always be so gleeful. Can't be as horny as Tori. And what are we doing next week, mate?
Well, next week we've got another one from Disney or Hulu, depending on where you're listening from. And this one is called The Perfect Wife.
No such thing.
You're back in the doghouse.
My
wife's my best friend.
I'm editing that out.
Oh, fucking I bet.
I got the world's greatest husband. His name is Keith. I love you.
I just got home from work and my wife wasn't there.
Do you guys believe that she was kidnapped?
It's a wonderful, wonderful life with you.
Nobody would have ever imagined that this would have blown up the way that it did.
Ain't no sunshine when she's gone.
Woman missing out of Shasta County, 34-year-old Sherry Papini.
Only darkness every day.
She was reported missing by her husband.
Ain't no sunshine when she's gone.
I've never seen the media scale that this garnered.
And this house just ain't no home.
No motive and vague details.
She does tend to be a little dramatic.
Anytime she goes away.
I'm coming, honey. I'm trying. Just bring her home.
Ain't no sunshine.
I have an emergency. There's a lady on the side of the road needing help.
Please.
After 22 days, honestly, I just expected to find her dead. But once she was discovered and seeing the injuries was shocking.
The way she looked at me, in that moment, I felt like she was lying.
There's questions that just don't make sense.
She told me that she was being drugged, and that's why she doesn't remember everything.
Sherry experienced a lot of childhood trauma.
There's so many sides to her.
You can't fake that kind of stuff.
I heard him yelling at her. He told me if I ever try and leave him, he will chop me up into little pieces and bury me in the backyard.
The more people you talk to, the more you're just back to square one.
I just want to go home. Can someone tell the truth?
That's what you're really trying to find, is the truth.
It's a wonderful, wonderful life with
I'm looking forward to that one next week, mate. And if you are enjoying the podcast, I feel like I should just record this and press play. It's just the same fucking spiel each time. I feel like a salesman. But please, if you are enjoying, like, subscribe, follow, reviews. What else is there? There's stuff. Just do all the stuff that we talk about.
That's in there now too. Yeah.
And Chris, full disclosure, Chris doesn't even drink coffee, but we happily drink beers.
Yep.
Or cider. I know you like cider. You can have a cider.
That's right.
With your straw. So we'll
swirly straw like Scott Peterson last week with his milk.
Exactly. So that link is always in our description. I think you only have to do it's like $5 like minimum. So if you want to throw $5 our way, we'll happily take it.
That's right.
And we'll continue to pump out this awesome show that you are loving right now. But anyway,
we're loving it too.
We are loving it too. But until next time, Chris, try not to murder anyone.
You too, mate. All right. Love ya.
Mwah.